Hello and welcome. I'm Exelite and this is my podcast. And with me today I have Rob, who is in a mood. And Rob and I are going to talk about the strange, weird things about Christmas. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We're going to talk about the crazy, weird Santa's helpers. I did a video about those this week, just a few days ago. If you have not listened to that video, go ahead. We're going to talk about the pagan parts of Christmas, which is everything that isn't religious, pretty much is pagan. So we're going to talk about that. And if you are not subscribed, why not? Please do that. And please give this video a thumbs up. It's totally free and it's Christmas time. Think of the charity points you'll get. And if you'd like to hear my content when it goes live, and who wouldn't, go ahead and ring that bell. Rob?
Yes, Tracy.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Ask me how I am today, Rob.
How are you, Tracy?
Fine.
That's good.
Just fine, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is the second time we've started this podcast. Because Rob thought I was talking too much.
Okay.
So we're starting again, and I'm not going to talk that much.
Okay.
So what would you like to say, Rob?
What we're going to be talking about today, will you tell us about... people need to subscribe if they're not already subscribed. Hit that like button, please, if you could. And hopefully you will enjoy this podcast.
I just told him to do that.
Well, they named it twice, didn't they? So it's the best.
Okay. All right, then. Okay. Is everybody in the holiday spirit? I am. Are you, Rob?
Yes, thank you.
I really am. I'm excited. I like Christmas. I love Christmas. I have a tattoo of a snowflake on my arm because I love snow. Christmas, I live in Texas, so it's the only snow I get to really see. But I put my Christmas tree up sometimes before Halloween. I have Christmas lights out on my patio all year round. I love Christmas. So this is my happy place. And on December 26th, it begins my sad place. It's very weird. Some people, never mind, I won't talk too much. Santa Claus is coming down. Some people get sad in the winter months because they don't get enough sun, right? My body just doesn't understand that. My body is just like, ugh, the sun. Bring me the dark and the gloomy. The rainy, the snowy, the windy. That is where I thrive. Light some candles, get some coffee or some cocoa, some blankets, fireplace, some movies. I could not be happier than that. Beaches. Pshaw.
Pardon?
I'm not a beach person. Well, I don't mind going to the beach, but I like Christmas. Period.
Yeah, you like the winter, don't you? You like the dark nights.
Yeah, I do. You know, there was a plane that crashed in Antarctica a couple days ago, coming from Chile to Antarctica. And they said that this part of Antarctica never gets dark. And I thought, what a horror. That would be my worst nightmare.
It must be difficult.
I can't even imagine. Anyway, whatever. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Does that feel like children should be excited about that? You know how when kids are bad and you're like, you better wait till your dad gets home. Isn't that what they're saying? Isn't that what we're saying right there? Why are we excited? Why are kids excited about Santa? I'd be like, I don't really want to see Santa. He's making a list. He's checking it, not once, twice. He's going to find out who's naughty and who's nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, which is creepy. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so you better be good, for goodness sake. When I was little, I used to think, well, first off, I was never raised to believe in Santa Claus. We were strictly religious holiday. And then I raised my children as a mixture because I thought I missed all the magic. I didn't get to the magic of Santa Claus. And then as I started raising my kids with Santa Claus, I went, ooh, Santa is creepy as hell. Can he see you when you go to the bathroom? Yes. Are you awake? Well, then yes, he can. Are you following me, Rob?
Yeah. It's how you interpret the song, though, isn't it? I mean, obviously, if you interpret it that Santa Claus would want to watch you in the bathroom, just because he's able to.
Just spit coffee out at that.
And the song's not sang like that, like you've just done it. You know, it's a merry, happy song. You know,
that's how they get it down your throat. That's how they get it. See, if I was like, I hate you, and I'm gonna slit your throat, and I'm gonna gut you, and take out your meat, and roast it on the stove, and feed it to your dad. Woohoo! It doesn't feel scary, right? It is the way it's delivered.
We're not getting monetized anyway. That's just start this one again.
Everybody just clicked that X in the corner of their screen. They're like, what the hell is happening right now?
Where did that come from?
It's because it's the delivery. It is the delivery. Because it's not said like this.
I'm going to feed you. I'm going to feed you your dad.
I don't know. I was ad-libbing. It was a rap battle.
With the devil.
Yes. Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Anyway, the point of the story is, you're right. It's the delivery. You said that it's not said like that. Well, yes, it's said. So kids repeat the lyrics, but it's so jingly. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to whip your ass. Right? Throughout history and nearly every region of the world, whatever they call Santa, Father Christmas, Papa Noel, Popo Gijo, historically speaking, he has a sidekick that he brings with you to whip you. But as we kind of got further along, we were like, that sounds mean, right? But it was actually made a law in that video I did the other day, somewhere like Norway. They made it a law that you couldn't use these stories to threaten your children anymore because it was psychologically damaging. But well, yeah. So now we just say Santa Claus is coming to town. And I guess what we're trying to convey is, so he's going to ignore you. right? He's going to ignore you if you've been bad or good. But that's really not what the song's conveying, is it, Rob?
Well, it was only last year that it came up in the media, I think it was, about the song. And I'd never seen anything sinister in it at all. But then, obviously, when you pick it apart like the way Tracy's doing at the moment, it is, does sound quite damning. But I think you could do that about any song. I just think it's unfortunate that we've gone from the picture, the Christmas card sort of view, like Father Christmas putting presents under the tree with a big beard and his big jolly face, or coming down the ceiling and coming down the chimney. Sorry, and now we've turned him into some evil red-coated predator.
No, we didn't, though. Historically, that's what he was made. Santa and his cohorts were made to be threats to children. I mean, they were turned that direction because, okay, so the real story of Father Christmas is what, Rob?
Saint Nicholas.
Yes, Saint Nicholas. And so, what was the story of Saint Nicholas?
Let me think. He gave children presents at Christmas in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
They were already celebrating Advent, weren't they?
Right.
Because obviously, and Saint Nicholas was. Is he the patron saint of children? I'm not sure.
No, somebody else was.
It's Saint Francis, who's the patron saint of children.
I'll go look it up. You keep talking, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, so it just built from there. It just built up from there, and my girls still believe in Father Christmas. Even though
I like that it's Father Christmas. I like that it's called Father Christmas better than Santa.
I mean, I tell the girls.
Oh yes, I lied. Saint Nicholas is patron saint of children. He's a saint. Okay, Saint Nicholas is the patron saint of sailors, merchants, archers, repentative thieves, prostitutes, children, brewers, pawnbrokers, and students in various cities. What?
He's busy, isn't
he? He is. He's like, all right, so I'm going to take the sailors, the merchants, the thieves, the prostitutes, throw some kids in here, pawnbrokers.
And I was wondering why he hadn't got back to me. He's swamped. He hasn't got a minute. His fingers are down to the bone. And
he's trying to save everybody.
I forgot what I'm talking about now.
So we're talking about the original story of Saint Nicholas, Father Christmas.
I know it was that Jesus wasn't born. I think they believe he was born in June or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I know that they've taken it from a pagan festival, winter festival.
Right.
And I don't think that matters.
It doesn't matter anymore, I don't think.
Do you believe in Father Christmas?
Wait, what?
Do you believe in Father Christmas? It's Father Santa.
No.
Oh, I do.
What?
I do.
Okay, what?
I believe in Father Christmas. Not the
All
Father
right, guys,
Christmas.
that was our podcast today. Thank you for listening. It's been interesting.
You let me explain. Not the Father Christmas. Not the Father Christmas that comes down the chimney and gets around the whole world in one night and delivers presents.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in Father Christmas metaphorically, because that's what should happen around the world. That's why I filmed a little box up this year for the children in wherever. By doing that action, metaphorically speaking, I'm being like Father Christmas,
Right.
doing something nice for somebody else. That's what I mean by I believe in Father Christmas.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. But I think I would word it different. I mean, I mm, I actually no. I wished there was something like that. You putting more faith in humanity than I do, I think. And that's
Well,
not my
it's,
best trait, but
but do
you
you
know,
remember you telling me, and it's beautiful, a beautiful story about the way you would treat someone who was begging on the street. Could you help that person, even if it's just giving them $1? Because they could be a guardian angel.
yes.
Now, what's different about believing that for me to say I believe in Father
Oh, I
Christmas?
see what you. Ooh, Rob, that was a good one. Yeah, so to explain further, the if somebody is asking for money,
Yeah,
if my gut feeling tells me I'm not in danger or whatever, I will give them money. And my husband was always the opposite. Like, don't do that. You know, I've worked hard for that money and you're just giving it away. And I said to him, you never know who your guardian angel is. And what you're going to see in the flashback of your life if this was somebody that was a test for you. And I don't care if they go buy alcohol. I don't care if they go buy drugs. If they're an alcoholic and they go buy alcohol with it, then I just saved their life maybe. So I'm not going to be judgmental because a lot of people are like, oh my God. And then he went and bought alcohol. Well, my I have a close family member who was an alcoholic, and if he didn't get alcohol, he did. He died. And so I write it off. Once I give it to somebody, that's their money, and that's it. It's not mine. It's out of my hands. And it could be somebody's life that you save who goes on to kick that alcoholism and become something amazing. Do something amazing. We don't know. So that's what he's talking about. And eventually, it's a long, long story, but my husband has come around to a different point of view and sees it more like me and hears my voice in his head say, could be an angel. But I think, so you're saying, what's the difference between me saying it could be an angel and believing in Santa?
well, there's this, for me, the whole experience of Christmas. I love the experience of Christmas, and even though it's tinged with sadness as well,
Yes.
for people that don't know, my birthday's Christmas Eve. I can
Yes.
always remember going outside with my little sister and looking in the sky for Father Christmas. And every time we saw a shooting star or anything like that, we'd think it was Father Christmas.
I wish I
So
had that.
um, like when we
So it's
did,
a feeling for you.
yeah, I mean, it's like when me and the girls did the shoe boxes for I think it's Mongolia or Romania or somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and the girls got so much enjoyment out of doing that. So did I. And we put a little Bible in there, and the girls wrote a letter, and we sent some photographs of the girls at church. They, the whole for me, that is them being like Father Christmas. Do like pass it. Is there a thing in it called is it pass it on or have it
Yeah, pass
on?
it forward.
Pass it forward. Sorry. A little bit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that person, that box will change a little girl's life, and she'll go on to
Yeah.
be the next. I don't know.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, I can see that. I just wouldn't call that. I just wouldn't call that Father Christmas. I would just, okay, all right. I'm gonna get real grinchy here. Why am I so negative? I wonder. Um, See, now what bothers me is like we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Well, my daughter's birthday is on Valentine's Day, so we celebrate her birthday, but I dislike Valentine's Day immensely because it's a made-up holiday, so people can make money off of cards and flowers and chocolates. And I think, why can't you do that more than once a year?
Yeah.
And I just kind of feel the same way about Christmas. Like, why more than once a year can't we collect boxes for children around the world? Why more than once a year can't we have donation boxes outside of the grocery store so you can buy $5 worth of groceries and drop the sack in the box on your way out? It's only at Christmas where people are hungry and need clothing, help with their electricity. People need as much help with their electricity in the summer as they do the winter, because I live in Texas and it's 115 degrees out here. And if you have an air conditioning, your electricity bill is going to be in the hundreds. People need as much help with that kind of stuff as like collecting money to help people in the winter to be able to afford the fuel for their fires, or the wood for their fires, or their electricity for their heaters. And I just wonder, why can't we as a people spread that throughout the year?
Mm.
Why does it have to be a Father Christmas feeling or a
Yeah.
Christmas feeling? Why can't we as people just, because throughout the rest of the year, there's a lot of people who just say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a job. I'm not going to pay for your this or that. I'm not going to help somebody who won't help themselves. And we're talking about homeless people, or people with drug problems, or people with mental illnesses, single mothers, and that kind of thing. But at Christmas time, everything changes.
Yeah.
Then we can help a single mother and her children, and they're on TV and you're celebrated for it. We can take a homeless person into a shelter and give them a big turkey dinner and pat yourself on the back because it's Christmas. Give them some new socks and a coat. And it makes me just sad.
Yeah.
Wow, this podcast took a turn. I just wish it was more like that for the whole year.
I agree.
People were less angry. That's what I like about this time of year too. People are just in general less angry. Right now in our country, almost everybody is just angry about everything, right down to commercials about exercise bikes. We're just furious. And at each other, at our neighbors, at our family, at strangers on the TV. And Christmas is a time kind of where, you get together with your relatives that you might not have the same religious or political or whatever beliefs as they do, but you get together with them and you come together because you love each other. But those feelings after Christmas, they just seem to kind of dissipate a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot sometimes. And I just wish it wasn't always like that. And moving right along, can we stop being the most depressing people on the planet?
Yeah.
All right, Rob. Let's talk about paganism, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
Some pagan symbols in Christmas. Holly, which I never thought about. Holly is a symbol used as a festive decoration at Christmas time, and its picture is used on Christmas cards. Every Christmas card has holly in it. The symbol
The
of holly
holly
is,
and the
yeah,
ivy.
oh, that was very good. The symbol of holly is in fact very old. During the Roman holiday Saturnalia, I think it has something to do with Saturn. Boughs of holly were traditionally given as gifts. In pagan tradition, holly is linked to the Holy King. The legend of the Holy King is that he and the Oak King are dual aspects of the horned god. At the winter solstice, the Oak King and the Holly King fight it out, with the Oak King defeating the Holly King, who reigns until midsummer, when the Holly King is then dominant until Yule. Which brings us to the Yule Log.
Well, can I just ask a question about that?
Yes.
I was under the impression the holly, holly's prickly and it's got thorns.
That is.
Yeah, it's very prickly. You can't just pick holly. You have to use a special pair of gloves, and they're very, really prickly.
Oh.
I always was under the impression that it was to do with the crown of thorns. There's lots of different things within the beginning part of Jesus' life that play a part during the crucifixion. Well, anyway.
I have no idea. I'm going to take your word for that, Rob.
Okay, could be wrong.
You could be right. I don't know. That makes sense. Okay, so the Yule Log. If you say Yule Log to most people, they will immediately think of a yummy Christmas dessert with chocolate icing. As great as this type of Yule Log is, the tradition of the Yule Log has much more spiritual meaning. The Yule Log is an important Wiccan and pagan symbol, and also an integral Yule decoration. Traditionally, a log from an oak tree would be gifted to you. This log would then be decorated, doused in ale, dusted with flour, and ceremonially, why can't I say that word, lit using last year's log. See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, doesn't it go in the fireplace? Yes, the Yule log symbolizes the reborn sun, the light conquering the darkness, and the Oak King conquering the Holly King. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The evergreen trees, which, by the way, I grew up in the evergreen state. Wing. Points for me. I've been there. While not very many people have a Yule log in their home each winter, I actually know several people who do, which is interesting. Many people have a Christmas tree. Most people, I would say. However, Christmas trees were not a tradition until the Victorian times. For pagans, evergreens are seen as a sign of hope that summer will return. In ancient Egypt, they used to bring evergreen branches into their homes during winter festivals. You know, it's funny that I just realized recently is that I grew up, in Washington State, and we would go in our backyard and cut down our Christmas trees. Evergreen trees, pine trees, to me, smell like pine trees. They smell like pine trees. But when my kids smell pine scent, like from a candle that smells like pine, or, whatever, air freshener that smells like pine, or even a real tree that smells like pine, they say, that smells like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And I realized that's because for most of their lives, they have never they have never lived somewhere where there's pine trees. So to them, the smell of pine smells like Christmas trees. To me, the smell of pine just smells like just plain trees. So, and I lived out where the bark fell off and it was dirt that was moist and everything, and it smelled mossy, and I don't think I've told this story on here before, but I'm going to tell it real quick. I was in Arkansas with my husband was working in Arkansas, and I took Josh there, and we were on our way to go to one of the diamond mines. And if you're from Arkansas or around there, everybody now knows what I'm talking about. You go to the diamond mine, you dig for diamonds, and somebody found like a pretty big diamond the day before Josh and I went. We were like, "Oh, we're gonna be rich." So we're driving there, and you have to drive through all this massive amounts of trees. Arkansas is a beautiful state, and it has these huge trees, and it's got that moist, mossy ground. And it was August, and I rolled my window down because I was just like, "Oh my God, this smells like home." And Josh says, "What is that smell?" And I said, It's nature." And he said, "Nature reeks." So to some of us, it smells amazing. And I'm like, "Oh, to others of us, nature just reeks." Anyway, that ruined the mood. Mistletoe. As well as the important symbolism of holly, mistletoe is another symbol that has been used before Christians. Mistletoe is a druidic symbol of peace and joy. It was also believed to protect you from bad weather. In Norse mythology, the practice of kissing under the mistletoe was to celebrate love and friendship. Bells. Here's something I didn't know. Bells are associated with the church. However, bells were traditionally rung to drive away demons. Everybody's looking at your bells a little differently right now. They were rung in the mornings to chase away the dark days and welcome in brighter days after the solstice. So, pagan Christian traditions. Carol singing carols. Many years ago, pagans sung carols at winter solstice. They would dance around a stone circle. Now there are Wiccan and pagan singers and musicians who have created songs celebrating winter and the Yule season. Ornaments. Hanging ornaments can be traced back to the Roman holiday of Saturnalia, where Romans would hang metal decorations off of their trees. These decorations would typically represent a god or their family deity. Traditional pagan decorations include garlands of pine, dried fruits, wreaths, incense, candles, and bells. Man, we took it all, didn't we? We took it all. A holiday feast. Traditionally, we think of Christmas dinner as being the key to the festive season. In the past, winter solstice would have been a focus on celebrating the foods which were stored and could be eaten over the winter. At the winter solstice, people would enjoy nuts, seeds, dried fruits, seasonal vegetables. Lighting candles. Candles are a popular decoration throughout the Christmas period. They are also used as centerpieces for many people's tables. Pagans used them throughout winter solstice as a symbol of the light of spring, which will soon come. I get the feeling that pagans didn't really like winter because they were like, "Get out."
They couldn't grow anything, could they?
Yeah, it was dark, cold, miserable. Yeah. There's also a Yule tradition of lighting a candle on Christmas Eve and letting it burn till morning. Don't tell anybody, but I went to bed the other day and I left a candle burning. Shh. Stupid. Joshua was awake. Thank God. Christmas presents. Giving presents and the stress of shopping for them, it's not stressful for me, is now an integral part of modern Christmas celebrations. However, the tradition of Christmas presents dates back to Roman times, during whatever that was called, Saturnalia. With them giving presents at Saturnalia, if you are not a pagan or a Wiccan yourself, and are planning on getting a gift for someone who is traditionally pagan, the gift should include candles, Yule-themed ornaments, herbs, essential oils, or incense. Isn't that interesting? I mean, we literally walked in and we're like, we want the trees, the ornaments, the bells, holly. We'll take that Yule log. How about a feast? Anybody want to? Okay, we want a feast. We're gonna take it because we're cool over here too. It's really interesting.
Oh gosh.
You got anything to say, Rob?
Yeah, I do. So do you celebrate? What are you celebrating at Christmas? Are you just celebrating the commercial side, or are you actually more pagan? Do you think than say me?
I celebrate Christmas religiously.
Right.
And a decent chunk of commercialization. I know that Christ wasn't born on December 25th. I know that Christmas is a pagan tradition. I know that we stole it. I don't think that we have to. Oh boy, I'm gonna get it right now. I don't think we have to hold those days as holy as people would like to believe, because they were made up days.
Yeah.
I mean, they were made up days. So was All Hallows Eve. So is Easter. We should have sprinkled a few more around the year, to be honest with you. And we took them from pagans so that people would become Christians as well. You're doing something with your microphone.
Sorry, I was just moving about. Sorry. Is it okay now?
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
I don't really feel bad about doing Santa for my kids growing up. Although Maya was very, very mad at me about it. Because while I consider it a religious holiday, I also know that it's not based on fact.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind combining them.
I still want my girls to believe. I'm trying to drag it out as long as I can.
I agree.
Because there's a degree of innocence that comes with believing Father Christmas, and I like the fact that they can still do that. They can still believe that, and it's not completely. However daft I have to make it sound, because obviously I've got all the presents under the tree.
Right.
So I say the presents are empty. The boxes are empty, and then they'll get filled up.
The poem, The Night Before Christmas, I always went by that. And Santa fills the stockings. And so stockings we had presents under the tree, because guess who's getting credit for those? Me. Thank you. But Santa would leave the stockings, because that's what the poem says. And every single year, even right down to last year, when I had adult children and a 16-year-old child, I read The Night Before Christmas. It's actually what got me into wanting to do narrations on YouTube, is that I loved to narrate The Night Before Christmas, because I really get into it. And it's basically my own play, and starring me. And I will have my grandkids. My daughter was married and brought kids into the family. They are going to come over, and I'm going to read it. And we're going to go out and we're going to put oats outside to feed the reindeer, and we're going to leave cookies for Santa, and we're going to do all that stuff. and I did my kids and my daughter's married. She's gonna go out there and throw a handful of oats if it kills her. It's just I think all my kids believed in Santa till they were pretty close to 11 because I tried to stretch it out as long as possible too. I think they started saying, "Is Santa real?" earlier than that, and I would be like, "Well, what do you think?" Yes. And then I was like, "Okay, then he's real." Jory didn't tell me he didn't believe in Santa for a long time because he thought I believed in Santa and he didn't want to hurt my feelings, which is quite possibly one of